Like, there's nothing wrong with admitting that some things that you once held close to you are actually bigoted in their very nature. And so maybe holding this belief doesn't serve me and maybe I should let it go and maybe my life will be better for it. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But part of patriarchy, part of misogyny is pride and ego. And so if your ego's too big, I can't change your mind. Like, and I've said before too, when misogynistic men do not see women as equals, obviously. That's the very baseline of misogyny. So what makes you think they're going to listen to me when I ask them, please don't do that? That's not nice. Please don't do that. Like, asking in a nice way doesn't work. And there's many different historical examples to prove that.
Yeah.
That sometimes when speaking to your oppressor, you have to speak in a language they understand. A lot of times that's violence, whether it's physically or it's verbally or it's emotionally. It takes many different forms, but they don't listen unless they're forced to. Whatever means.
I still don't think that they're listening.
No, not at all.
You know, I've had some personal experience with this back in the early days of Twitter when I used to kind of post a lot.
Yeah.
This was, and I'm going back 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it was climate change denialists and people who are opposed to universal health care. Like, we're the richest country in the history of world civilization, and we can't have decent health care for all of our citizens.
Yeah, it's insane.
But we can have, you know, as many missiles, more missiles than you can can count.
We got a real beefed up military, though.
You know, our priority, but the gall of people that would come at me, you know, to say climate change is some kind of liberal conspiracy, or that, you know, people who need universal health care should just get a job. It didn't matter what I did, whether I was reasonable, it wouldn't change their mind.
Yeah.
If I came at them and insulted them and went at it with it, that didn't change their mind. But what I feel like what's important for this is me going to mansplain your social media phenomenon.
I'll allow it.
Thank you. Just this once. But the way that I see it is what you're doing is for the legions of young women that are watching you.
Totally.
You're a hero. And you standing up for yourself and say, I'm not going to take that bullshit. I'm not going to take your hate. Is really important for millions of young women to go like, oh, that is an option for me.
Absolutely.
I can learn how to do that. And you do it with grace and a lot of humor, you know, and and a really cutting sarcasm. So I think that is super important.
Thank you. Like, get off this app, go do it somewhere else, do it where I can't find you, or block me. I've warned men like that before. If you're going to do this, if you're going to do the bigoted shit, make sure I can't find you, because I will find you. I find you every time. I got birds stationed all over and every app. I've had some followers pay for a Patreon access to record stuff and send it to me in an email. They're like, hey, I think you should fuck this one up. Like, that, I'm not kidding. I got sleepers everywhere. I say the word, they go like, and then they turn into a soldier for me. So like, I will mobilize them at any moment, but that's the way that
you're raising up a feminist army.
I am.
Online.
I've a real call to arms.
The Soul Boom Podcast. Subscribe now on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you get your stupid podcasts.